is a story. Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Here we are, January 2017. Lots of changes, lots of evolutions. So this is the deal. In 2016, I got the vision, the picture, the reality, the sense that the demographics were breaking off, splitting off. However, it's become very clear in the last 6 weeks that I'm picking up on something that's happening in the future. It's not quite happened yet, but what has happened is that the demographics, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, all the signs, these demographics that are on these evolutionary narratives, they're unfolding, spiraled evolutionary stories in particular themes. I do believe, I feel, I sense that they've split. And so what I'm going to be doing, and this is going to be more work, so I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be doing this, but what I've started to do for 2017, January, is for each demographic, I am doing 2 readings. So there's a split happening. There's a certain populace of people, there's a certain evolutionary story that's unfolding for, let's say, half, or at least a quantity, maybe even a third, a quantity of Aries. And then there's another storyline unfolding for another populace, another segment of the Aries demographic. It's the same for Taurus, etc. So let's get started on the year. I'll explain it as we go through the reading this month. Everyone, so there's a lot to talk about as we complete 2016 and we enter into 2017. So of course, this is our January 2017 Alchemy Scope, right? This series of Alchemy Scopes for this new beginning of a new cycle. And indeed it is. So let's start with talking about the numerology. 2016 was a 9-year. It was a hard year for many, many people out there. It was a very tough year. On the collective scale, it was a very tough year. In fact, this 9-year of 2016 was about endings, completion. It was about old patterns coming up to the surface for healing, for seeing. So as we complete this 9-year, we enter into 2017. Which is a 1 year. 2017, 2, 0, 1, and 7 together add up to 10. This 10 year adds up 1 and 0 to 1. All right? 1 is initiation. It's individuation. It's the individual. It's initiative and innovation. It is a new beginning. 1 is a new cycle. It is literally the new seed. So as most of you know who have tuned into my Alchemy Scopes forever, since I've begun, or even more recently, you realize that these Alchemy Scopes are always attuned to natural cycles. So they're always aligned with the new moon portal point. And the new moon is a new seeding time. Indeed, everybody, 2017 for all of us on the collective scale is representing energetically a new seeding time. It's a new moon on a massive scale. So we're entering into a new phase of a 9-year cycle. So this 2017 year is about new beginnings. So this is fantastic. And I have to tell you, everything that I'm going to bring up now is aligning with this message of 2017. Ironically, on this new moon point where we are officially kind of beginning, this is post-winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, and entering into this new cycle for the year, I'm recording this, of course, before this Capricorn new moon, right before January 2017 begins. This new moon point, this Capricorn new moon, is the third of the last 3 months of a 7-degree new moon point. Scorpio had a 7-degree new moon, Sagittarius had a 7-degree new moon, and Capricorn has a 7-degree new moon. In fact, to be exact, the new moon that is occurring on the 28th/29th of December is at 7 degrees 59 minutes Capricorn. Now, everybody, the amazing thing that's aligning with this new moon, this new beginning point, that is representing for us the beginning of the chapter, the pre-chapter of the calendar year shifting to 2017, is that Uranus goes direct on the same day as our new moon. Now, if that weren't enough, we have the most amazing Sabian symbol, everybody. Listen to this. The Sabian symbol that is imbued at 7 degrees Capricorn is this. In a sunlit home, domesticated birds sing joyously. The keynote that Dane Rudhyar writes is the wholesome happiness which subservience to the ideals and patterns of a well-established culture brings to those who accept them unreservedly. The wholesome happiness which subservience to the ideals and patterns of a well-established culture brings to those who accept them unreservedly. So let me read on. In various ways, this section of the cyclic process brings to us images glorifying the power and benefits which a steady and well-integrated society brings to its members. Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn was the ruler of the Golden Age before he became a symbol of binding limitations. The person who accepts willingly, or even better, takes for granted the value of these limitations, can lead a serene and happy existence, whatever the social status. This stage suggests to us how we can enjoy our life condition by allowing the spiritual values it embodies to fill our consciousness. In every condition provided by a healthy culture, which hardly refers to our present chaotic world, human beings can find enjoyment in the roles they are born to play. Everybody, with 2017 equating to the energy of a 1 year, a new cycle, a new birth, individuation. This is about you becoming you. This is about you as a distinct soul print, a distinct individual, stepping into your uniqueness, your distinctness, and doing you. This could not be more aligned with the bigger picture. I mean, it's quite something. So this particular symbology is imbued not only for this particular new moon, but at the point at which Uranus is going direct. And Uranus is the individual. It is our distinct genius self. It's our uniqueness, our distinctness. So there's no accident. There's complete alignment with the fact that Uranus is going direct and that it's happening on this new moon. And this new moon is the third of 3 sevens. And this particular symbol is the picture. This is birds singing joyously in a sunlit home. This is about emanation. Sun emanates. This home is safety, security. It's the self. It's the body. Everybody, this is quite something, you know. Now, let's talk about this new cycle. So you heard me say in the introduction to this video that I had been getting a call for a long time now, actually. This is since last spring. So spring of 2016, I got a really clear picture that that these demographics of the signs are going to start to split. That there's going to be a threading of the story. It's going to fray out, because as people step into their individuation, as people understand that they are distinct, as they understand they are a powerful, distinct facet of consciousness, of source, they are going to break. They're going to go into more of their aligned soul print path. And the general demographics for the unfolding is going to shift and change. The thing is, I tend to pick up on things well before they manifest. So when I picked this up in spring 2016, it wasn't necessarily happening yet. What I got clear on in the last 6 to 8 weeks is that there is a split, but it's not threaded out into many different facets of story. So for example, instead of the demographic of Aries continuing on a general evolutionary path of unfolding narrative, it is split, but it's now split in two. So there's a distinct evolution upward, and there's another evolution going in another direction. As we move from a stable state into a chaotic state, as people continue to unveil and awaken and really align with their distinct soul print, they will not follow a general narrative. So yes, there is a split now. Is that split going to further break into different threads of story? Yes. At some level in the next couple of years, I don't necessarily foresee these particular readings following any particular thick storied narrative. They might, because again, I see things well in advance, years in advance of sometimes this stuff happening. So it could be that it's 5 years down the road, but maybe it's sooner. It's going to depend on how quickly people wake up and how people really... I think what's happened for me in the last 6 to 8 weeks is I've realized the level at which people are still strongly asleep. And so because that's the case, the understanding that I've gotten, the clarity that I asked for and that I received was that indeed there is a split, but right now it's only a bifurcation. It's only a split into two. So that's what we're going to proceed with. So let's move forward into the individual signs, and we're going to take a look and see one or two, A or B, left or right, because I am going to show you two different spreads and two different I Ching narratives. Okay? And one of those is going to align more for your story. All right, so let's get started. So I'd like you to meditate on two forms, square and circle. Square and circle. Now, if you'd like to align the form square with the number 1 or with the directional identifier right, you can do that. And I want you to also meditate on the form circle or number 2. It can also be B of A and B, or left of right and left. But I think the easiest way, because you're my very first recording, you know, I'm doing this split spread situation now for the first time, and I really do, it is my very authentic intention to make this easy and smooth as opposed to more complicated. It is absolutely against my deep desires to make any of this complicated, but unfortunately there's more information coming through. So I'm going to bring it, at least for now, I'm going to bring it forward, and I will attempt to be as clear and concise as possible. I think that square and circle, tapping into the forms, are going to be the easiest for people. because it's not about one being better than two. In fact, it's not that at all. A being the first letter in the alphabet, B being the second. There's always some hierarchical association that humans do with that stuff. And because I didn't want that, I think that square and circle are going to be best. So tap in. And once you know what it is, that is your form. So for all of these alchemy scopes coming forward, you are going to be square. You're not going to go back and forth between square and circle. Now, could it be that you kind of switch paths, or that you shift trajectory? Anything's possible. Absolutely anything is possible. But you're not going to flip-flop back and forth every month. If you pick square or if you pick circle, I am doing the readings according to those pathways. Okay? So let's begin. We're starting with square. So if you selected square as the resonant form for you, that means that that is your unfolding trajectory at this time. Gemini squares. So let's take a look and see what is your narrative this month. What's unfolding for you? With regards to the I Ching hexagrams that came forward for you, you received 2. The first one that came forward was number 25, Innocence. And it came with changing lines, and it became number 42, Increase. It's interesting because many signs this month are receiving 42, Increase, which has to do with success, progress, okay? For you, there's innocent progress that is playing out for you, literally kind of in a very, not necessarily naive way, but in a way that is, you're going with the flow a bit, in an innocent fashion, with an openness to the progress that's playing out for your life. All right. So that's kind of a core narrative for the Gemini squares in January. Now, your evolution, who you are to become this month, is interesting. You received number 29, Kali. Kali Ma is destruction. She's dissolution. She gets to the root, gets to the core, cuts off the ego mercilessly. So who are you to become for your evolution this month? You are to kind of get real with yourself in a way that's pretty deep, dark, and concise. In your mind, in your system, in your emotional system, in your stories, in the narratives that you hold in your soul. There's a depth that's required for you to go deep and to kill off anything that is out of integrity. Because Kali kills that which is out of integrity, okay? Which is causing damage, anything that is causing damage. Now, let's move on to your reading. You can see, first of all, the cards that I'm using, the ones with the yellow borders. This is the volatile deck, made in Damanure. And I'm also using the Druidcraft Tarot for the center card position. In the center, you can see Glory, Victory, and you can see the Ten of Swords reversed. Now, to receive the Ten of Swords reversed is a good thing, because it's receiving it upright means we're kind of in the middle of a feeling of defeat. It can speak to feeling devastated by some level of defeat. The Ten of Swords can talk about either you're coming through a time frame of feeling defeated, and now you're accessing a new time of glory, success, feeling lighter again. And I have to say, I think that really goes beautifully with your I Ching about innocent progress. There's success taking place in your life. It's just part of your cycle right now. So there is glory maybe that you're feeling after a period that has felt more devastating or defeating or burdensome. For some of you, it could be that you feel that you've avoided defeat, and that instead of you coming from a time of that, You're actually feeling like I'm lucky, I'm glory, I'm victory, I'm success, right? So you're innocently, again, 2542 with your I Ching hexagram, innocent increase. It's like you're innocently moving forward, and maybe there is this feeling, some acknowledgement that you avoided something that could have been terrible, that could have been devastating. Now, going back to your Kali, this is about going deep within yourself. So there's some deeper areas of self that want to be seen and recognized and looked at. For you on this spread, we can see that on the base of the spread, journeying and death, on your life journey, there is a transformation that's taken place. And it could very well be that with friends in the past, you weren't feeling as connected, or or you were feeling more lonely, because you can see the loneliness card up at the top of the spread there. But you've gone past it, or you've avoided it, and now there's a transformation on the journey of perhaps what was loneliness for some of you. You might have been feeling quite lonely, okay? But there's some transformation at hand. Now, could it be that this month in January you're feeling lonely, you're thinking about loneliness, and that indeed a death of the journey is taking place? Maybe there is an actual death of a friend that is taking place, or that there was a friend that almost died. That's the Ten of Swords reversed. It could be. You might feel that this month there is glory because something's been avoided, and it could have to do with a friend. If we look at the emotional sector, which is on the left side, we can see friendship doorway. Doorway has to do with a portal. It could be that a friend was close to death and was reaching for death. You can see the reaching card in the spiritual sector. But you might be feeling success and glory because there was an avoidance of utter defeat and devastation, and maybe the death journey didn't play out this month. So for some of you out there, you might find that there's a friend that avoided death, or that avoided something devastating happening. And maybe you're having thoughts around loneliness, meaning how would you feel if that person were gone and out of your life? That might be part of the Kali that's wanting to take place. Maybe there are some deeper areas where you are reviewing your life a little bit. You're reviewing how you are with friends, how you are with relationships. Maybe this is reminding you this year. Maybe if there is something that happens with a friend where they avoid death, where they avoid transition in that way, maybe that you start to really recalibrate your mind around what matters to you in this life. Now, let's move on to the circles. Gemini circles. What is your path this month? So for you, you received one I Ching hexagram. And this one I Ching hexagram is a great one, number 34, great vigor. Great vigor does speak to like a bull releasing itself from a fenced area. This is about a surge of energy, a vitality that you're feeling at your core that is felt and pulsating through you. So great vitality is you have a lot of energy this month, right? Now, if we look at where you are to grow, evolve, what is your evolution? Who are you to embody this month? What is your optimal embodiment? Number 41, erotica. Erotica really does speak to the erotic nature of life, the sexual aspects of the human condition. This is about your sexuality wanting to be utilized, and your sexuality, the energy, your second chakra energy. Again, your I Ching is number 34, great vigor. So there's great vitality already moving through you. The evolution is, where are you to channel it? Channel it through your second chakra. Your second chakra is the sexual area. It's the funnel of energy that is sexual in nature, and it's also creative. So there might be some creative and passionate manifestations that want to come forward. Very specifically, though, Penny Slinger does talk about erotica as the sexual liberator. Erotica is here to liberate you from any bondage that you have within the sexual arena. It's about letting loose and letting flow. Okay. Now, Gemini circles, if we go to your reading now, we can see that in the center of the reading, and here we're using my Siri cards. In the center of the reading, we have beauty, confusion, and Cernunnos. Now, Cernunnos in the Druidcraft deck is the devil. The devil talks about bondage. It talks about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's about being linked to something that we can choose to be unlinked from if we want it. But there's a desire to be linked, really. There's an addiction there. And you can see with Cernunnos, the lovers are at the base of the devil there. So the lovers are right there. Now, because you received the erotica card, this could definitely have to do with your relationship with a lover. Okay. Now here, beauty, confusion, Cernunnos. This is about almost seeing through the eyes, seeing everything as lovely, seeing everything as delicious, seeing everything as beautiful, even the confusion, even not being clear with the affair, because the devil card can talk about an affair. So even with the affair, even with the addiction, whatever the addiction is for you that's really unfolding, for you, there's some delight in being in the confused state around it. Now, interestingly, clarity is also coming up. So the clear seeing card, improve, is happening in the spiritual sector for you this month. So indeed, on a spiritual level, there is a level of increased clarity, intuitive clarity, that is improving for you. So even though life might feel confusing, even though the devil aspects of your life, affairs, drugs, alcohol, whatever is the addictive person, relationship, or thing for you in your life, even though that might be confusing for you, there is some sense of riding with that wave and a sense of beauty around it that you're experiencing. And there is an improved clarity spiritually for you. So intuitively, there's clarity happening. At the base of the reading, communication, travel, contemplating, right path. So it could be that there is a communication that might come from a relationship, a lover, somebody, about a trip where it could either be a spiritual retreat, a spiritual trip, or a yoga, spiritual, astrology conference. There's loads of things that are starting to be scheduled now for 2017. So it could be that there's a communication that you received this month about a trip that would be meditative. It would be a contemplative trip. It would be a course, a spiritual course, something like that. And that it would feel like the right thing for you. It would feel aligned and something that would be interested in doing. Up at the top, you are thinking about this place. You are thinking about going to this project at this place. So there's some trip or something that you're planning. It doesn't have to be for the month of January. This could be later in the 2017 cycle, but indeed you are thinking about it, right? And you might have some confusion about it because it might be somebody that you're attracted to. So the devil card, the confusion about the devil, is speaking to you are interested in the trip. You are contemplating the trip. You would love to go on the trip. It would be the right path for you to go on the trip. The place would initiate maybe your own creative projects that are underway, But there's confusion because maybe there's something a little unclear about the person asking you, okay? Now, in the emotional sector, the nature card is coming up. Nature in the emotional sector is speaking to you're feeling alignment. You're feeling like you're maybe loving you, or feeling more self-respect for you, or feeling more aligned with your true nature at a core level. And indeed, with the clarity improve coming up on the other side, there is more of an alignment to your core essence self that is taking place. Okay, Gemini, let's move to these final components here for your month. Everyone, an exciting announcement. Throughout 2016, I've been called to bring forward a Learn Your Soul Print course, and indeed it's happening. January 2017, we'll have 3 live stream courses discussing key aspects of your astrology, your archetype encodings and the Sabian symbology that lives within your soul print, your soul's blueprint, that really are foundational understandings to knowing what our natural alignment is. It is highly delicious. And so for those intrigued, this is a great price, and I encourage you to learn more about it. The web address is thealchemyofholism.com/soulprintcourse with hyphens between the words. And you can find the link below this video. So for those ready to start 2017 with clarity, with alignment, I highly, highly recommend learning about this course. An excellent price point. The goal for me to provide a course versus working one-on-one with clients, which is what I do, is so that I can help more people align to their stories. And this story is the natural alignment, the natural bliss state. So I look forward to seeing some of you very, very soon. Everyone, before I sign off and wish you a very good month ahead, an evolutionary, a rich and expansive month ahead, I want to remind you that in order to get your personalized Alchemy Scope with a spread, with an astrological assessment of your solar return, with a discussion of your Sabian symbology, of everything that's activated, including your transits, I urge you to make contact. The link is below. And this is a video that you're going to have permanent access to, so you can refer to it throughout the year. But there is about a 2-week lead time, so I encourage you, if you'd like to tap into what the whole of 2017 has in store for you, please go ahead and click the link below to place your order right away. Talk to you soon. Bye. You are an embodied reflection of Source. You are thus infinitely empowered, abundant, and a co-creator with your context always. You are an alchemist. Divination works because the web of life is intelligently organized with coordinated and storied agency.